capitalist. So let's jump in with them and enjoy the Dota.
A team of misfits is how we describe them at TI6. Digital Chaos are now in the semifinals up against Finem. Once DC were the underdogs, now they are the giant facing up against this Greek crew. Looking at this draft, gods, are you feeling it? Digital Chaos have this last pick Morphling against Finem. They can definitely take this late. Is this good?
It should be good. It suits DC. They like to put Rezo kind of on those big late game carries, be it the Naga we've seen a few times or the Morphling this game. He's had some very successful games on the Morphling itself, so I think it suits them. To me, it's more how they can react to the Finem pressure. You know this is a team that's going to be coming at you hard and fast in the mid game. They're going to hit these item timings where they get like the mech on the Enigma, Lifestealer Sats getting the Infest Bombs going with his armlet timing. Finem can be very scary to fight in the mid game if you're not ready for it, and that's when Morphling isn't quite ready to fight. He wants to split push, and the rest of DC have to kind of play 4v5.
What about this change of pace from Finem with the last pick Enigma? That was definitely something that I don't think anybody from the analyst desk was expecting.
Haven't seen in a while, but Spartan's actually played quite a lot of the Enigma. It's not an uncommon pick for him. It's like one of his 6th or 7th most played heroes. So he's very comfortable on it, and he feels like he can kind of have that big mid to late game impact on the hero. There is the wall of rock to stop the black hole, but if you're holding the rock till the end of the fight, that's a problem. Normally you want to use the rock very early on to kind of set up a good fatal bonds. Oh, nice bounty rune deny. MNT even taunts himself away.
He'll make his way out, and that means that our Dragonite is going to be lacking a bit when it comes to that gold. The other bounty rune did go to the Nyx Assassin. He managed to contest the Morphling over that one. His lane is going to be pretty important. He's going to be the one setting up the tempo for Madara's Lifestealer, trying to shut down Resolution's Morphling as early as possible and see if they can actually push this to the mid game, but they should be so dominant.
This is what DC really like to do, is he's contest the off lane. They run 2 heroes up there. Initially Misery just throwing a couple decays and also being the hero to block the pull camp. So often if your lane's being contested, you want to make sure you can pull, reset, deny experience, but Misery's not going to allow that, and Madara is going to be getting contested in terms of his farm very early on.
Now, what do you think Spartan's going to be doing with his Enigma? Do you think he should be doing a similar scenario, popping out of that jungle area and helping out the Nyx Assassin the way Misery's trying to help out the Bat Rider? Or do you think he just fully focuses on farm?
I like the idea you fully focus on farm. The Enigma just doesn't really pressure the lane as well, and you'll end up perhaps denying a few creeps of Rezos through the conversion and using the extra kind of summons to deny even more, but ultimately you're leeching Skylark's XP. I think you're better off just rushing the level 6 and then smoking up, using that black hole, similar to like the Beastmaster jungle, where you just hit that level timing where you've got almost a guaranteed kill using your ultimate.
Skylark does seem to be doing just fine by himself. He's already got 2 of the range creeps and gotten himself level 2. Of course, the Morphling is ever dangerous opponent to face up against. An early spike carapace is going to be blown here, expecting a bit more aggression out of that Morphling. Meanwhile, our top lane, Misery, again, trying to contest the pull maybe next time. He did manage to get an easy camp pull, but it's going to be taken away by Misery and fed to Moon Meander. In our mid lane, though, this is where Finem are actually taking a bit of a lead here, thanks in part to the Enigma and his early deny. Thug has managed to take an early CS lead over Weehaw.
Yeah, interesting. Weehaw going for the poor man shield, knowing that Timber just wants to walk at you and right-click to get the reactive armor procs, but has led to him getting a slower bottle. So he's sitting in this lane without money for a bottle and without the mana to use another Breathe Fire for some time, and could be in some trouble with MNT's rotation.
Yeah, he's low enough that maybe a Whirling Death and that heavy stat reduction.
Very tanky though.
Yeah, it doesn't look like
poor
it.
man shield. You've got just 1 nuke out of the Whirling Death, so not close to level 4. They will be okay as far as DK not going down, but problem is the bottle's coming, and MNT, well, we've seen this one before. He sniped a few couriers in his time. He's actually expecting the courier to be coming out now, but it's a slow bottle from Weehaw. He's going to neutral his way up to the 660 gold that he needs.
Yeah, in some ways, maybe Weehaw's slower CS comes to an added benefit of not getting their couriers.
It's funny when you play that support, you're like telling your mid, give him 1 or 2 CS. Come on, just let him get that bottle coming out, because you really want to snipe it, and if you beat him too hard in the mid lane, it comes too late, which is what's pretty much happened now. It's already upgraded. It's already flying.
Oh, Skylark in some serious trouble. Does manage to get the spike carapace on some of that damage. Skylark is going to be run down underneath the tier 1 tower. Resolution takes the shot, but he does die to the tier 1 in exchange. Of course, that experience not going to the Nyx Assassin still okay, but A bad time all around for our Nyx as Misery makes the rotation out, no longer trying to make that dual lane work, tries to shove back the Nyx assassin a bit more.
Yeah, kind of negates the win there with Morphling going down. He loses some of that unreliable gold he had. And Nyx not getting the XP, as you mentioned, does mean that it's not like Skylark gets all too much, but Resolution's advantage taken away. So we'll see for now. Spartan just continuing to free farm up the jungle. He's getting closer and closer to that level 6 timing. We'll stack a medium camp once more. And then with Black Hole online, the mid lane is very viable kill. Level 6 Timbersaw, level 6 Enigma, throw a Black Hole. There you've got yourself your first kill on the mid lane.
Skylark going to be chased away, but he did manage to get the bounty rune. Weehaw beginning to pick up some CS, but still trailing quite a bit behind Thug, who's sitting at 29 and 4. It seems like the combination of damage reduction between these two, Weehaw has not been able to overcome that heavy stat reduction of Whirling Death, and it's Thug who's taking the advantage thanks in part to his early Quelling Blade.
Yeah, it brings out the raindrops now, so ganking him to try and turn this lane around or reset it gets that much more difficult. You're going to block that Breathe Fire damage, and we'll see what Finem's move is going to be. The lanes are looking so good from them. They're not really under pressure to make any moves, but if they can get like a rotation out of Enigma, it's going to give them that much bigger of an edge. And
a little bit of attempt at a block out there over that narrow staircase, hoping to be able to keep Skylark and delay him just enough for Moon to come. Oh, nice bounce back. Skylark is going to end up falling here inside the river. Beautiful play by Moon Meander, who's just about to, oh, there it is. Thug actually finished him off. That Whirling Death. The stat reduction stacking up, and Thug does manage to get that kill with the double damage.
Just the individual plays from both Moon there on the bat, and then we see the mid laner Thug getting a solo kill on Weehaw. This is the kind of thing you look for from some of your big playmakers when you're in these key semi-final games.
Yeah, I was so sure that bounce back for the flame break was so good by Moon Meander. And then we look over towards mid, and I thought, oh, Wee's just TPing away. Looks like he should be fine. And boom, at the last half second, Thug is able to finish him off. And that is probably a much bigger kill. Yes, you got the Nyx Assassin, great for Moon Meander, but a solo kill for Thug means so much. He is now level 7, maxed out Whirling Death, and has Chakram. Even a Dragon Knight, and how tanky he is going to have to be wary of this mid lane.
Interesting little Radiant scan smack dab on the Enigma jungle where the Eidolons are. Saw nothing, but this is a big telltale sign. Enigma has hit level 6, is smoking. That's a really nice way to use the scan. It doesn't find a hero, but it gives them the intel they're looking for. Is where is this Enigma? Is he off ganking with the Black Hole? And when you don't see him at those camps, you damn well expect him to be rotating somewhere on the map.
Yeah, they look and try and place a nice aggressive ward to be able to see rotations into the off-lane camp. Spartan's still able to sleep on by here with his smoke. He's going to go in deep into the jungle.
Timbersaw has a TP. That's perhaps the big playmaker that can come down to this bottom lane as well.
Maybe Next Time's already made his rotation, so they are going to set up for a potential 4-man fight here. Resolution's already blowed the way for him, too. This is perfect time for Finem to be able to come in from behind. Spartan's here. He will manage to get it before the Dragon Tail. No, something that's done. They're going to be able to combo. Double kill for Skylark. And now they actually look for more. Misery's fast enough. He will get away. But Thug, look at that. He's got a haster, and he's like, let's go, boys. Let's dive that tier 1 tower. Misery's going to be caught. He knows he's done for, too. He's going to throw out the pause. It seems like his mouse is dead. He wasn't doing anything there.
I thought that was
pretty obvious.
I thought it was like the whole position, like, I accept my fate, take me.
That's what I thought it was,
okay.
too.
I will die. But he wants to use that last bit of decay or whatever it may be, you know, get that bit of extra efficiency, but
not going to happen, though. Cut down, and Finem bring all 5 of their heroes down to the bottom lane, manage to pick up 3, and start putting some pressure on that tier 1 thanks to the Enigma.
That's one of the best rotations I've seen all tournament. That is just such a clever way to use. Normally you typically expect the smoke Enigma to go towards the mid lane, kill the DK, and that's why Weehaw's like, it's not safe here. The Enigma smoked, he's not in his jungle, he's coming to gank you, so you join up with your team. You go to the bottom lane where you feel like it's the safest place to be. Safety in numbers, he's with the Morphling, he's with the support, but at Finem, bring the whole team. They have the Enigma flanking while the TP onto the tier 1 from the Timbersaw, everything was just perfectly set up.
And Spartan, he throws the Black Hole just before the Dragon Tail can come out. If that Dragon Tail hits on the Enigma, maybe one of those heroes can actually escape, but both cores end up getting caught.
That's my mouse. What's going on?
Whew. Top lane, we're about to see and Finem start setting up. They just picked up the level 6 on the Nyx Assassin. He was trailing behind this Batrider too when it came to levels quite heavily. Natural, just because Batrider is just a stronger laner and able to utilize those neutrals. But now that they got that fight at bottom lane, he's picked up his level 6 and he can continue to keep the Batrider from picking up his big initiation item.
Yeah, they're such a tempo and momentum-based team that winning that first fight really sets things well. As Skylark gets level 6 off of it, and this Batrider or the Morphling could be in some trouble. Infest ready to go.
As long as they hit this Impale, there really shouldn't be any way for Moon Meander to get out. Misery's here too. They're going to pop it, and where's the Impale? They're actually going to go for Moon Meander. They missed the Impale. The slow is on to Misery. Looks like they try to get greedy and go for 2 different kills here, but Misery's going to be able to heal himself up. No Impale for another 5 seconds. They will be able to get the kill either way. Just running him down. Resolution with a waveform down for another 6 seconds. Moon Meander, he pops the Firefly, but that just leaves him open to the Spike Carapace. Double kill from Madara. A bit of a bumble there by Finem, but swiftly recovered. Skylark may have to give up his life. He's running deep into the side of Digital Chaos's map.
If you can buy 20 seconds, he's got another Vendetta.
Okay, but he doesn't get hit by the waveform. He's
okay,
at least buying a lot of time, and there's no one on the other side to cut him off.
He'll swoop his way through, just buy time for another Vendetta, or even just walk himself back to base. And he's actually around this mid lane where they can look to apply some pressure onto Weehaw. He's completely alone here.
Yeah, Weehaw could get a heavy dive, especially with Thug able to execute him so quickly with that big burst of pure damage.
Oh, he's been seen
But
there.
they're not going to go for it. Moon Meander spotted him out, and there goes the Vendetta. Moon has no counter detection.
And that's okay for Skylark. He gets that extra intel for his team. Firefly goes on cooldown, so now you're like, okay, Moon's just jungling. He's not going to defend this lane. And Finem will just sit back, farm the next time or two. They're going to have a very early mech on the Enigma. The Lifesteal Armlet timing, these 2 items coming very close together.
Are you doing this? Yeah, he's doing that. He's going to go ahead and take that hard camp.
Doesn't even have a TP. He's just playing up in Moon's face, knowing that he's trying to rush that Blink Dagger.
Nice counter wards being laid down by Digital Chaos on either side of their Tier 1 tower. As it seems pretty clear that Finem are trying to set up in those kind of rotations. Resolution going to be gone on here by Madara. Of course, nothing's really going to come of it. Just a waveform blown and a bit of mana missing. Thug is going to be, and no, Moon Meander. Still quite a ways away from that Blink Dagger. 1,400 gold. Especially in a game like this against a Nyx Assassin Lifestealer, you never know when that next gank is going to be coming for you. So Moon has got to play it safe, but still try and finish up that Blink Dagger in the next 5 minutes.
It's really, this last couple minutes has worked out really well for Finem. One of the best things you can do when your opponents overcorrect and start playing too defensively is just fall back and farm. They're farming like 4 or 5 different locations on the map, and DC are like over-investing in sentries. They're expecting the ganks to happen, and they're not. Finem's just out-farming them currently, so DC making a move, and it needs to come. They've got the rock. They're ready to take a team fight of their own.
Thug is going to be the first person moving forward, though, into this smoke, and he's a tanky one. They're going to try and lasso him up with all this magic damage. They might be able to bring him down. Misery nukes him a little bit more. Thug tries to make his way up, but can't quite get there. The Eidolons are big, and now a 2-man black hole gets laid down. Madara's coming in from the side. He does get sucked up with a Dragon Tail, but both the victims of the black hole will fall first. Now Madara looks for 2. Sox is the target, goes for the TP out. No chance in hell. Madara takes the killing spree, and they push forward through mid.
3 kills and the rock. They lose just the Timbersaw. That's a very acceptable loss for Finem. They're not going to get top in time to defend the Tier 1 tower. Resolution making use of the space being created by his team. But when it's space in the form of multiple deaths.
Skylark,
okay.
Oh, Resolution looks for them. Oh, nice Malphite just out in time. Now Spartan's going to be able to get away, but it looks like the Dragon Knight was still able to get that kill on the Nyx Assassin. Thug is back here now, and they have the mech for Spartan.
But they know there's no black hole, so DC want to get this Tier 1 mid now.
And they know the Lightstealer TP'd up to top lane, so he'd have to trek himself all the way through the river to make it to this mid lane engagement. Finem, though, do have some pretty good holding abilities. They've got both the Fate Bolt, which we've seen Rubik hold multiple times against various pushes, and Timbersaw, probably one of the better cores to keep Tier 1 towers alive. So tanky, and a nice bit of wave clear as well.
Yeah, similar to the black hole being on cooldown, as is the chaotic offering. So DC themselves not going to overcommit towards that mid lane, and it's really Finem who can make those next couple moves. Even with black hole on cooldown, it can be a scenario where they use just the infest and the Nyx and try and find pickoffs rather than a team fight. Take
So
another
much
look here.
attention being played to Thug that at Digital Chaos actually think that, oh, we can actually move forward, keep going for this next hero, but the black hole and all of Ad Finem circling up like that, they just managed to get so many picks off of that continued aggression from Digital Chaos. They just as easily could have tried to back away after they killed Thug, but trying to threaten Spartan's life as well is really what caught them in the end.
Yeah, and doesn't cripple Thug's farm really at all here. He's still sitting on 5.1k net worth, pieces towards the Bloodstone coming up, so he's not been hit too hard by DC. That mid lane went very well from him. This is the Infest gank as mentioned. Skylark and Lifesteal just trying to roam around, find a single
scan, it
kill.
lasts just long enough.
There's a
so
sentry.
There are going to be sentries here they might be able to catch, but Thug is making his first maneuver, managed to push two of the heroes into the trees, catches one right before the TP out. Now
the
Moonmander
Carapace.
comes forward, but he's already been caught. He gets right to the Carapace, 3 down for Digital Chaos, and Ad Finem just do not slow down.
That has been their story throughout this entire tournament, from the qualifiers to the main event. This team just keeps on going, and Ad Finem will take a tier 1 tower to follow this team fight of theirs.
Madara searches for that last hit. He will have it. He's going to have a Desolator nice and early. They're dire side 2, so Roshan is a possibility for Ad Finem in just a few minutes.
They can push ridiculously fast. They're going to go straight into the pipe to go with the mech. They'll have mech pipe, a potential Aegis Desolator on Lifesteal. Normally you'll see the Echo Saber first, but I think it's Madara just saying, I want to have the item that also helps me take down buildings faster with my team. Amplifying not just his own damage, but the physical damage of things like the conversions as well. And DC are going to be put under a lot of pressure right now. We have Dragon Knight, very, very poor. Normally the story we've seen with these mid Dragon Knights, a hero that can still be very effective even when behind on farm, but this is a whole nother level of being underfarmed.
Yeah, sitting all the way down at 4k net worth behind the Nyx Assassin. Nyx Assassin, who's about to pick up his Blink Dagger. Skylark is going to be very happy with that extra bit of initiation because really the item gets amplified by the fact that he's going to be carrying the Lifestealer inside of him half the time. So a lot of opportunities for initiation.
You mentioned the Roche, it's happening. They've got the Eidolons, they've got the Lifestealer with the Desolator coming on Courier, and DC have smoked up, but I don't think they know Roche is going down. They would love to catch Ad Finem grouped in the pit for a Rock plus Fatal Bonds combo, but Ad Finem have found the perfect time to go for this when DC are unaware.
Yeah, with that tier 1 tower still up on the dire side at mid, there's no way that Digital Chaos can actually wrap across the map into this Roshan side in time. This Desolator is going to allow them to be able to clean up Roche pretty quickly, and it's going to be DC taking just a tier 2 in exchange.
One of the really nice things to do with the Enigma, being able to recast the conversions off of your previous summon if they multiply in. They may not be able to get back in time to defend the tier 2. They're not really set up. No one's TP'd to the tier 3 tower yet, so they will have to give this one up, but they're the ones who are going to be now pushing forward. If you can just get the kind of top lane equilibrium sorted out so that there's no threat of Morphling taking your tier 3 tower, you can break high ground. You've got the items, you've got all the tools you need. No pipe yet, I guess, is one of the main things missing. It is a hood on the Enigma at least, but at Finem, they don't want to let go of the accelerator. They just want to keep on marching forward towards DC.
Yeah, DC do manage to make the read. Still no one has showed up to defend that top lane, so the possibility of Ad Finem playing very aggressively is there. So they're playing hard on the left side of the map. Finally, the Morphling will back out as Timbersaw plays defense here. A haste rune for Skylark with the Nyx Assassin inside. This is a prime opportunity for them to get a quick pick that could turn into another objective.
Yeah, DC just haven't really been able to find those rotations you expect out of like the Batrider with his blink timing. They've used a couple smokes and they've gotten down wards, so they are looking to set themselves up to take some good fights, but they're running out of smokes. They've only got the one smoke left now, and smoking into a team that's very likely to be 5-manning with the mech, with the Aegis, and pushing towers is just not going to really work all too well. Even if you smoke and find the Nyx who's off by himself, he's got the Carapace and has a Lifestealer inside, so he can buy a lot of time for his team to catch up, and Ad Finem will reveal themselves, and if you see this, you're DC, they're actually thinking, let's fight into this.
They're going to go for the wraparound. Maybe next time. Maybe fortunately, maybe unfortunately, he's not going to cut through the secret shop. He would have been the one to pop the smoke, but maybe it's going to be his allies who are going to take the brunt of this initiation instead. Sure enough, there goes Skylark, unable to get the Spike Carapace off in time. He still managed to get it towards the end of the last zone. It looks like a lot of Ad Finem will manage to turn around and fight against that Tombstone. They've already taken out that big team fighting item, and Digital Chaos they look like they can't actually fight this one anymore. They've gotten the Nyx Assassin, yes, but DC stalling out a little bit, not trying to continue to go for more.
They're scared of the Enigma because any other scenario there with the Warlock, you drop the rock. You make sure you kill that Nyx, or they do end up killing the Nyx, but you make sure you kill him faster, and then you catch the backlines with the rock as well. But because there's Enigma, they want to hold onto that black hole to be able to cancel it, and that kind of prevents DC from getting more. They get just the one kill, and then they get scared, and they back off. So they get a tower deny out of it, but Finem still have a decent duration left on this Aegis to keep taking these outer towers.
Moon Meander. Oh, Adara actually turning. Weehaw blinking forward. His fresh blink dagger. It seems like initiation is key to everything here for Digital Chaos. Just because they are far enough behind in net worth, doesn't look like straight up 5v5s running into each other is ever going to work out for them. So they need to be able to find that quick numbers advantage. So having two types of initiation could be a boon for them. But Resolution's about to get caught. They're going to try and burst him down. They have the black hole too if necessary. They eat through the Lincolns. Resolution makes his jump away onto the trees, but he does not have much mana to work with. He's going to try and go for the TP, but the black hole will stop him. Finally, it will be expended by Spartan to kill the big carry of Digital Chaos.
If he could have saved it and not gotten the kill without it, he would have loved to, but he's more than happy to make sure they kill the Morphling.
Oh, nice jump forward here. Maybe next time manage to catch Moon Meander. Moon Meander going to go for an instant TP, and that will be enough to allow him to escape.
He gets out, but this T2 tower mid is looking somewhat vulnerable to the Finem 5-man group up now, and Weehaw says he doesn't want anything to do with it. He's just going to the top lane to try to put together what scraps of farm he can. It's a pretty short cooldown, or short duration left on Morphling's respawn, but not a whole lot DC can do until he is back alive.
5 to 14, 19 minutes in, almost a 10,000 gold lead for Finem at this point, and over 10,000 experience with this tier 2. Might just put them over that benchmark.
Easy tower for them. They in this position where they're not like on a timer. Like they don't have to win the game off of this Aegis. They're heavily out farming DC. They've got 3 cores well ahead of the Dragon Knight. Their offlane is kind of on a similar level, but with Enigma here that's going to scale really well into the late game, can also hit these scary item times where you've got Pipe and Mech for now. Next you can kind of throw in the Greaves or the BKB if you feel like you can get up a BKB hole around the rock. But Finem, they're not going to let go. They want to keep playing this fighting style Dota, and they are going to find Moon.
Immediately swarming in, they're going to be able to pick off Moon instantly and be able to defend this tier 1 tower. The jump forward, maybe next time, does manage to catch the Morphling. He's got a replicate out. They're going to have to try and get someone else on the back lines. This is where Skylar comes in. He's got 5 seconds till his Blink Dagger is up. See if they can catch Misery here. Misery does manage to juke him out a little bit, but now the Blink Dagger finds him. Sidestep the Impale. Doesn't look like Finem are going to catch him, but maybe Saksa is going to be the one who's victim instead. Going all the way deep into the tier 3 tower, they get the telekinesis, and Thug as well as Modder will be able to combine their damage to bring down that support. That's 30 seconds. They can go ahead and try for a push. Unfortunately, they pushed all the way in. And their only real opportunity to go for any objective, I guess, would be through mid. That tier 2 is still up at the bottom lane, with the lane being pushed out by Resolution. Jump in. Moon Meander managed to catch Madara, but immediately turned around on Spike Carapace and an Impale. There's just no damage there from DC. Now, Finem just going to keep on going. They found their opportunity to be able to go on DC once again, diving into Misery deep underneath the tier 3 tower, but now Madara is going to be comboed up. Weehaw with the Dragon Tail. Resolution provides the damage, and now Finem will overstep themselves. Oh no! It doesn't get Spartan. That extra kill was critical. Still though, Weehaw has a Blink Dagger. Thug is going to have to make himself a TP out, but Weehaw's going to be able to see him. They get the stun. Can they actually bring down this tanky beast though? He has so much magic armor and so much regular armor, they don't even try. They just want to finally be able to take this tier 1 tower at mid.
Yeah, it's gotten low enough, and they're probably feeling like it's their time. Lifesteal is down. There's nothing to defend this one. DC, find the Timber once again, but then they're like, oh, wait, it's the Timber.
Yeah, you can keep on stunning him to your heart's content, but that does not mean you can actually put damage onto Thug.
I think Finem just getting a bit ahead of themselves there. They're such a kind of gung-ho team that they were so keen to go diving for those kills. The Warlock was fine, but then they stuck around, looked for the second kill on the Undying. And the problem was, Lifesteal had lost his Aegis. It'd been about 30 seconds since it had expired. Oh. At the buzzer gets out.
Oh, Spartan is hyped up that he managed to get out, but that was still a nasty fight for Finem either way.
It's kind of a good outcome now that they can go for the next tower objective because that Warlock Rock is on cooldown.
Moon Meander, I'm sorry, buddy, but you're not making it out of this one. Thug claims another kill, another Bloodstone charge. He's up to 15 already.
I mean, Adfinem know this bottom tower and possibly even start chipping around the high ground without a Warlock Rock is very feasible for them. They can hit before Resolution's completed his Ethereal Blade on the Morphling. And even when he's got that, you're looking at fighting into Null Field as well as the pipe on the Enigma. So there's a lot of magic damage resistance on Adfinim's side. The casual hood on the Timbersaw, Lifestealer's got Rage, Carapace on the Nyx Assassin. Everyone's got a pretty good way of dealing with the Morphling burst damage.
Finem may not even give the opportunity for Resolution to complete that Ethereal Blade. As Thug is going to start marching uphill, he's going to be the big tank of this Tier 3. We've got Madara outputting the damage thanks to his Desolator, Armlet, as well as an Echo Saber picked up not too long ago. Skylark's ready to go with the initiation. He's on the back lines, currently Vendetted up. Will probably have to blink in if they see an opportunity here. Digital Chaos, though, do maintain a very nice spread. 4 heroes all sitting behind that Tier 3, slowly but surely harassing Adfinem back while Resolution pushes out that top lane and will eventually get themselves a way to be able to push out and force Adfinem away.
Yeah, Rezo is just pinging top while that push is happening. Like, look, if they want to force the high ground, they'll be trading towers. The Morphling with the full agi can push just as fast, if not faster than like the 5-man Adfinem unit, since only really the Lifestealer can hit the towers effectively. So,
I mean, this is a prime opportunity here, right? They know they saw Adfinem back out, 4 heroes back out to the right-hand side of the map. Unlikely they're going to be able to link up to Madara in time here. They've already got the scan. Moon Meander's going to be able to make the initiation lasso, pull back straight to the Dragonite Dragon Tail. They're going to be able to combo stun him down. Skylark tried to get in there with a spike carapace, but the rest of Adfinem were just seconds away from being there for the full-out team fight. DC just moved fast enough.
That was such a great read, and like you say, how fast they got there. They did not hesitate. A lot of teams would be like, all right, let's smoke, guys. They just backed off. They take 10 seconds to group up, then they smoke up, then they spend another 5-10 seconds deciding where to go. DC knew exactly where they were going and were all ready to go the second Adfinem were out of their base. So very decisive play from them. Gets a kill on the board, gets Resolution, his Ethereal Blade, and they're doing a good job of just slowing down Adfinim's momentum by keeping this top lane constantly pressured. That really has been the biggest part of DC's game plan. Take advantage of this top side of the map. Adfinem don't want to spend time up there, and they're getting much more when they're pressing forward, pushing out mid and bottom, taking the Radiant jungle. These are the kind of objectives which will secure your Roshan, put DC in a tough spot, but they've still got to find a way to keep top lane pushed out.
Yeah, I mean, Adfinem, you're looking at their endgame scenario here. You've got Madara as your high ground pusher. A Lifestealer, especially against a Bat Rider, is not the most ideal high ground pusher in the world, right? So if you look at this net worth lead that Adfinem are currently holding on to, that is a little bit misrepresentative of the lead they actually have. DC are not that far behind simply because holding high ground is the easiest task of all these other things. Adfinem were definitely going to take control of the early game, take control of the mid game for sure. They were going to have a net worth lead, but can they actually crack the base? That is the true test of Adfinem.
I think there's still a big question to be asked as to how are they going to get farm on heroes other than Morphling, since Morphling's the only one getting on the map. If Adfinem do want to play the economy game, they can farm very big luxury items, like get a Lincoln Sphere on the Enigma to put on the Lifestealer, get a Solar Crest. Timbersaw's going to have a Lotus Orb that he can put on the Lifestealer, so it's a very tough late game to play as like a kind of single carry Lifestealer against a Bat Rider, but they can kind of overcome that by sheer item advantage if they get to that point. Ideally, they don't want to get to that point, and that's where Thug, he picked up a Boots of Travel. It's kind of going to be his job to deal with that top lane, push it out, and then he can rejoin his team using those travels, but this game is still, in a very tough place for DC just because of the farm distribution.
Another round of initiation, and this one may come as a big surprise to Resolution, who's still pushing out that bottom lane. They have Spartan with a Blink Dagger now. His Lincolns will not keep him safe anymore, but fortunately, he will play it relatively conservative, pushes out just the tier 3, immediately jumps to his Replicant, starts going for the push on the opposite side of the map.
Yeah, had that last couple seconds of Replicate, so didn't force anything out of it, but it's the infested Nyx Assassin making moves. There's a Sentry Ward nearby, but he doesn't walk into it. Seems Adfinem, though, just going to farm up the enemy Ancients, realizing that time spent inside looking for ganks that aren't happening is time wasted, and they want to get their next item or two. Get the AC and get that kind of reach their win condition.
What do you think? Skylark is holding on to a rather large amount of gold here.
Yeah.
We usually see Nyx Assassins, if they want to go ahead and pick up the early minus, they'd pick it up by now. If they wanted an Aghanim Scepter, they'd have a point booster. Well, there it is. So
Indecision, I imagine. Probably those talk like, does he get the Lotus Orb? But
right.
Timbersaw has the plate mail, so could be he's going to get the Lotus Orb, if not the Shivers. Shivers is there's not enough physical damage on the Radiant side to like demand the Shivers card. If anything, it feels like Lotus Orb could be more impactful, but no, he does go Shivers.
Okay,
well, item.
That does kind of still put us at that conundrum of who's going to be protecting this Lifestealer against the Lasso initiation. We want to see a Linken's, we want to see a Lotus Orb.
So far, it's just been Skylark with a Blink Carapace. Almost every single Lasso has been immediately stopped. It goes off, but he can't pull him into the base.
And we've seen something that, like, Digital Chaos can change their play according to that. We saw Zhao Wei in their match against Finem routinely make his initiation without Firefly, just so it didn't give that opportunity to the Nyx Assassin. If we start seeing Moon Meander do something similar here, that Spike Carapace is going to remain as an irrelevant counter-initiation.
Yeah, as it stands, the Lifestealer not really farming all too much, so DC, it's not that they're choosing to play defensive. It's very hard to get on the map because they don't have much access to smokes. When they've had smokes, they've made them count, which has probably been one of the biggest testaments to their understanding and their read of this game. But when they don't have those smokes, the map control, the vision, very favorable for Finem. They can scout with the Nyx Assassin. They've got the gem now on the Enigma as well. Resolution. He's going to be up here.
Able to get this. Spartan can lead with the Black Hole. They got it with the Impale. Black Hole combination. Resolution is done. Finem bring him down for 60 seconds. We've been playing a bit of a waiting game here, waiting for Finem to finally make that opportunity for themselves. They get it now, 60 seconds to push out these lanes and get some real map control, and maybe we can think about the next round of objectives.
Yeah, and that's the thing for Finem. They're kind of looking at this game, and DC's being frustrating. They're keeping lanes pushed out. They're avoiding them. I think they just understood that, all right, if we were actually going to go to the late game, who's the hero that's going to beat us? It's the Morphling. If we can just gank him, use the Black Hole, even if we don't get a Rax off of it, we're still going to scale better. But they're in a position with this top lane pushing out, they could get a Rax off this one if Morphling doesn't want to buy back. And even if he does, there's no split push threat. It's forcing DC into a 5v5 fight.
Thug will hold this tier 3. Madara starts laying out the damage. He's got the Hyperstone, not the full out AC just yet, but they are still chunking this tier 3 tower down pretty quick. Moon Meander,
Very
they're
early
going to try
fight.
and wait it out.
Not sure if they want to stick around too much longer, but Morphling 5 seconds till he's back.
5 seconds and an initiation about to come through. Weehaw leads with a stun onto Madara, forces out the rage. Now with the rage going down, they manage to pull back Madara, but again, the Nyx Assassin with the Spike Carapace is there. Madara will manage to infest inside a creep, and he has the Aegis ready to go. Finem will take the melee racks and be very happy with that. They may still try and fight, though, now that they have the high ground advantage. As DC comes forth, there goes Chaotic Offering onto 3, but still, Weehaw just can't output the damage. Nice double stun. Once again, Skylark comes through in the clutch. They take down the Aegis of the Lifestealer, but it doesn't really matter. Finem are still full 5-man up, and in the background, no retreat. Saksa can't even get back to the fountain. Thug managed to pick him up, and now they can turn their attention towards a tier 3 at mid. Digital Chaos, are they going to be forced into more buybacks?
Forced into more buybacks, or possibly even calling this game if they can't find a way to hold their second melee rack. That infest worked out so well. Madara was on the back lines. He stayed in that creep, and when the fight broke out, he pops out. He's like, oh, here's a back. Here's a Warlock. I've just killed your back lines, who normally it's hard to get to. DC making it easy for Finem to take that fight, even without the Black Hole. The sustain just too much.
Oh, jump forward. Nice pick off there on the Rubik. That's one way to scare Finem back. Weehaw looking for more here, but still can't find it. Moon Meander can jump forward again. The Spike Carapace does manage to claim him. All the heroes of Finem turn their attention towards that Batrider, blow him up real quick. And Weehaw, again, he just bought back. He does have no items whatsoever. He really can't output the damage. That's all in Resolution. He comes forward with the BKB. They almost bring down Spartan. Looks like they should be able to after that Ethereal Frame. And Misery goes down as Thug just rips him apart with all that pure damage. Madara's going to be the next target of Resolution. Rage goes down and an Infest inside Thug, who is practically unkillable, so Thug is just going to make his escape for it. The Lifestealer. DC can't possibly keep up with the mobility of the Timbersaw at this point.
They hold the melee racks. They also take off the gem from the Enigma, so some small saving graces for DC in the end there. They did have to buy back the Batrider, but the swing by taking the gem limits what Finem can do, but If you're at Finem, you're thinking, well, we've got that first melee racks, we took the tier 3. Let's go back to slowing things down, waiting out for that next Roshan, looking for the opportunities rather than forcing an opportunity, which is what ended up happening there in the mid lane. By forcing that melee racks as DC are respawning, you put yourself in a tough spot. If you wait for the pickoffs, use the Nyx Assassin to scout around with the lifestealer, then you put yourself in the driver's seat.
Yeah, they do have to start respecting this Morphling. They can go ahead and disrespect the rest of DC as much as they want. They're so far down in net worth that the damage is just pitiful, but Morphling, he's the true carry here of Digital Chaos, and they're going to have to respect his shotgun combination, even just his right-click damage. Now that he has a BKB, he can play a lot more aggressively as just a physical damage dealer as well.
Yeah, that's going to be the key thing. Curious to see where he goes next. May look to something like even just a casual Blink Dagger for that initiation with the quick burst and get out, but it seems at Finem, they feel good. They've got the black hole back up. They want to take a fight on the DC side. Skylark, though, isn't with the team, and that's not just Skylark, that's a Lifestealer infested, so I'm trying to decide whether they want to play the pick-off game or the 5-man down mid game.
Maybe they're kind of posing like, oh, hey, we're going for this push at mid, when in reality they're just kind of like doing that and seeing if they can catch the Morphling when he goes for a split push. You know, he naturally sees 3 heroes, and he's like, oh, I can farm top, I can farm their jungler or something. But the reality is DC are playing much more safe.
Yeah, and we saw kind of top lane, if they want to kill that Morph, they need to bring 4 heroes, perhaps Enigma and Timbersaw for the burst damage and lockdown potential. The Nyx and Nyx can't really do it as a 2-man unit, but you know, kind of DC want to even just move out a little bit on the map to get down some wards. Radiant Vision is purely directly outside of their base. They can't get out on the map at all.
The counter ward is there, so our Nyx Assassin combination is not going to be able to get the jump onto Resolution. He waits on high ground for his farm. Spartan's been sitting very patiently down here at bottom lane.
Expecting a Morphling, perhaps? He can't really kill Morph with just the Timber. Timbersaw's the one with Boots of Travel. I guess Lifestealer could infest the Timbersaw, but yeah, no other Boots of Travel available, so it seems like he was just waiting to see if anyone's going to come out. He can farm and push this now. Got 2k gold, so good farm on him.
Few pokes and prods here from Ad Finem, but ultimately they are deciding, as you suggested, wait for the next Roshan, finish up some items. They've already got some big ticket items that they completed not so long ago. Aghanims on both the Timbersaw as well as the Nyx Assassin and AC from Madara. And they actually have a lot of gold in the bank as well to be able to work around this Roshan. Oh, and a double damage. Just, you know, it's a little gift from Ice Frog. His approval of this Greek team. So they should be able to get this Aegis pretty easily. Unlikely that DC are going to be able to form any sort of response, as they are, I believe, entirely out of smokes. No, they got 1 on Misery to work with.
Well, if they wanted to contest Roshan, it's too late now. They're drawing lines to push out the lanes more likely than anything. They may want to, yeah, at this point they'll have to save that smoke for the high ground defense, looking to perhaps wrap around, catch someone like the Enigma on the back lines. It will be a... Looks like a refresher. Could be the Lincoln Sphere, though, as mentioned. That's one of the kind of... I mean, he is going all utility so far. It's a question of whether he goes for the big playmaking item now or just the item that's going to help out Madara's Lifestealer. But as it stands, with an Aegis in hand, they want to just kind of control the lanes, push him out, and then get ready to have the Lifestealer siege the high ground. Problem is, Lifestealer with an Aegis isn't always a Lifestealer with 2 lives. He gets pulled really deep into the Radiant base by the Batrider. Things can get kind of troublesome. And there is 2 Force Staffs. Misery has one as well. So Moon can use his own as well as Misery's to pull the Lifestealer in deep. And that forces an Ad Finem fight that isn't really to their liking. If you're fighting under the tier 4s, things can get very, very messy.
Now we do have that defensive item. Lotus Orb is the choice for Spartan. They have an Aegis. Really, they have everything they need, I think, on Ad Finem to try and finish out this game.
Yep. You put the Lifesteal on there, he rages with a Lotus Orb, hits for 4 or 5 seconds, backs off. You can just rinse, repeat this, and it's a very safe way to siege, but the question is, do you find the initiation opportunities? Can Skylark find a jump, or can Moon find a jump? Who's going to get the initiation first?
Digital Chaos on the verge of losing their very first game here at the Boston Major, attempting to hold high ground against a very stacked Ad Finem with a 20,000 plus net worth lead and almost 20,000 experience. It really doesn't get much harder than this for DC.
Yeah, their back is against the wall for sure, and it's just finding that way to put together their team fight, guarantee that Morphling can burst here. He's got buyback for this fight as well, which is going to be important if he wants to fully commit in first.
There goes the jump. They managed to get Madara before the Lotus Orb. They're going to be able to pull him back a decent distance. Double 4 stabs all the way into the tier 4 towers. Fortunately, Madara is tanky and he has that Aegis, so he does manage to get the Infest inside Skylark, but now Skylark's going to be target. He immediately gets blown up, and Madara's going to be slowed down by this upheaval. Fortunately, a 4 stab will come out, gets him a little bit more distance, so if he does die, Finem can try and formulate some sort of response, but he doesn't actually get picked off, and he'll be able to heal himself up.
That's the double 4 stuff. The threat of this, it makes messy situations. Skylark gets put out there because he's like, oh crap, my lifesteal is under T4 towers. I've got to go in and help him.
Oh, jump forward here by Spartan. They immediately go for Misery, not allowing this big team fighting support to be able to survive. But fortunately, they had a Glimmer Cape and no counter vision from Finem, so Misery will survive. So key, as that combination of decay and even the heal from Soul Rib could be vital for DC in this next team fight.
The next buyback looked a bit unnecessary and rushed there, but they really tried to push the issue while the Batrider lassoed on cooldown. That's the one big threat to the lifesteal. They've still got 15 seconds, but it's one of the shorter cooldown ultimates. And
all right, Lotus Orb and a Rage. They very quickly take down this melee ranks. Now, Madara may be gone on as he backs himself away. The Rage now gone, and the upheaval is slowing him down. News come forward, but a 4-staff save once again from Finem. Maybe next time, always in position to be able to help out his core.
That's second melee racks. They've still got 2 minutes of Aegis. If they want to switch it up, they can now head towards bottom, probably deciding that this range racks isn't really a big objective to get. If anything, working on the tier 3 tower with Aegis could be a more important plan for them. It's kind of like we'll take a free TP in the jungle, but yeah, it's Finem who are going to continue to set this tempo. Basically saying to DC, what's your move? What are you going to do to stop us from just taking apart your base, one building at a time? And so far it's been DC trying to just get that one pick off and then turn it into a favorable fight, but Finem are playing some very safe and calculated Dota. This is a team normally known for their aggression, but their high ground siege has been done in a very clean way.
Tier 3 gonna fall fast. Again, DC kind of have to wait out until both the Rage and the Lotus Orb have faded, but the damage is already done. Misery once again becomes a target, and there is the appropriate response from DC. Now the target comes forward, but this time around the Lotus Orb does manage to catch Moon Meander, holding himself in place, and Madara just rips him apart as the lasso fades. Now double chakra, block the black hole! He got him! DC respond with a chaotic offering, turn used by maybe next time! He turns it against Digital Chaos, and DC begin to fall. Weehaw right in the front is gonna really take us to his own death. No, he actually turns, he's armleting, and he's gonna be able to fight against Spartan. And Spartan making his way out will be able to take away from Misery as well. But Thug, he moves forward, goes for Resolution. Resolution has to make his way back to the fountain somehow. As Thug trying to cut him off will manage to slow him down with this Scotty. This death is so important for Thug if he can actually get the appropriate pure damage. He moves forward, shock him out, but they are getting so many heroes on the backside. Weehaw's gonna die again. Madara blink away. Weehaw managed to make his way out. Thug, careful with that fountain. That is not your base, my friend. Digital Chaos will call it in the end. Finem.
When does it stop?
I don't know. When does this Greek Lightning team stop? They have already broken Digital Chaos's constant lossless streak through this whole entire Boston Major. They've made it through the semifinals. People said, hey, they have an easy road to the grand finals, but Finem are definitely showing that they are going to put up a fight. They are one game up and one game away now from the grand finals.
I mean, it's DC, not they're just undefeated, but winning all their games so convincingly. This is their first big test. They're now down 1-0. Finem just played that game so well. The 5th pick Enigma, just uncontested jungle farm. It was only Rezo really getting much in any of the lanes of the Morphling, and he couldn't do it all on his own this game. He needed more help from elsewhere. DC needed that stronger early game, which they just didn't get.
So DC, we're not going to be seeing another 2-0 from them. That streak has been broken. Next question is the 3-game streak going to be broken by Finem? Are they going to be able to end this out 2-0, or are we going to see a classic game 3 for Finem?
Finem hopes to break that.
Yeah, we'll see.
Like
they're hoping. We'll see. Our panelists, I'm sure they have some thoughts on it as Finem. I know there was a lot of them actually siding with Finem. Winter even, I was a bit surprised. I thought for sure he was going to go for DC, but he ends up going for Finem in the end. Yeah. His faith is clearly rewarded in this game 1.
Well, faith, but also we actually managed to find Winter's heart. It existed somewhere, and he has got it now. It's
the
like
Iceman has a heart. So is that you, Machine? Did you melt him down a little bit?
I did, yeah. I basically took him into a dark room with a swinging light bulb, and I was like, Finem, for like a good 3 hours. And we did get it through in the end. Yeah, we did. But I mean, guys, it's happening. Like, you know how, I mean, Ted was the first doubter, right?
I didn't doubt Finem. What are you talking about?
Yesterday you were like, I think it might be ending here.
I just said I think, but I still hope. I still have hope.
I think that's called doubt, Ted.
No,
I think that's the exact definition of doubt.
No, that's not doubt.
It's not doubt.
Just cut from this
Cut
idiot.
from this
Come
guy,
on.
right? Right, God's Cap, we love you. We'll be back with you for the second game. It may very well be the last if Finem continue this form. We will come back to you now, Ted. They've gone now.
Now that the nasty man is
Now
gone.
the nasty man's gone. Finem.
Doubt is when I'm like, no, don't know. What I'm saying is, I really want them to win it, but it might be difficult. But they made that look
I
easy.
doubted them yesterday. Ted did not doubt them yesterday.
Thank you, Winter. Panel sticks together.
Finem have done what no one else could here in Boston, and that's take a game off of DC. Undefeated until this semi-final, and here come the Greeks. Their biggest event they have ever attended. Certainly not necessarily the case for anyone on DC, and now Finem are sitting there flexing their muscles backstage, one game of Dota away from a grand finals major showing.
But that's the key. They still got to win the next game. Don't start celebrating yet. Don't think it's done. DC are a very good team. They've definitely got way more than just one trick up their sleeve. So this is a team you have to try and beat.
And where did this first victory come from? Fortunately, I have Malini alongside Pyrian Flax and Winter to explain this. We'll start with you, Ben.
The draft, I think, was very surprising, them picking Enigma. We expected just a standard support. You suggested perhaps a Mirana, but I thought they needed a little bit of team fight, but I thought they would just commit like half with like a Witch Doctor perhaps, but the Enigma really took the icing on the cake for me in this draft. I was like, wow.
He played so well. Like
really
his
well.
movements and item choices as well. Like Ben was calling it the puppy build, where you don't get a BKB early, you go for the pipe, the mech, the team items. And he was just there for his team, especially here, the biggest movement I felt he made in the game. He moved down when DC was trying to capitalize on the Dragon Knight ultimate to push down the tower. He came from behind, he got a black hole on 2 cores. That was his first big play there in the game.
1 kill, 1 death, 20 assists from that Enigma.
Yeah.
Just consistently providing exactly what his team were after.
The thing is, it's like the guys are saying, because of his itemization, he wasn't just focusing purely on Black Hole. Like he was moving around and supporting them just with his items, with the Eidolons, just with the stun. Enigma's stun is very good. So it's like, he was just perfect. It was just perfect play from him.
And
Great last pick.
Second good black hole from him. And the thing is, like, the Warlock in theory counters the Enigma, but when he goes to this build, he doesn't really have to cast big black holes for them to win the team fight because he's such a backbone to their team. And I like how he rallied his team around him. I can tell that he's like shot calls a lot, but when he's like Rubik and other heroes, it's a little bit more difficult, and a lot of the teams like do stuff without him. But this game, you could see that they were always around him and they played around him super well.
So DC couldn't find the answer for it. I mean, what were, other than the Warlock, their win conditions? Was it that Morphling? Were they expecting to get Rezo big? Was that where the key to victory would have lay for DC?
He did get very big though, that game. I think, but like what the casters were saying, him alone wasn't enough. Like they needed someone else to be more farm. Like especially the DK. The DK was really poor this game. He had a horrendous. Yeah, he had a horrendous laning phase. Even though I'm like, Timber does really well against DK, but I've seen, I said this during the draft, but I've seen DK do okay against Timber with the Brief Fire, but this game he got destroyed in the lane.
I don't know how that wasn't a stun, by the way. Like, there must be just a fraction
That's
of
a delay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but it's just enough. It was, I mean, but there's moments like that I'd Finem get away with
God,
stuff.
I love esports.
But it's those little moments, like when they barely escape or he just gets away, it does add up. And if you have enough of those in a row, it must demoralize a team, even a team like DC.
Yeah, it's not only the Enigma, you know. At the end of the day, Tuck had a great game on that Timber, so he was absolutely amazing. He was making so much space, running in, doing damage, tanking for his team. He had so much farm as well.
And it's not a hero that he spams. You mentioned that he played Queen of Pain even more than the Puck. And Timbersaw is you know, he's kind of a own special hero, and he plays the TA, the OD. Winter and I were talking about it. It's like, how does he play all these heroes so well, aside from the Alchemist? But
yeah, that was the only hero that we felt was a bit underwhelming for him. The rest of the heroes he played was top-notch.
yes.
Yeah, if you look at his most played heroes, Timbersaw is way down that list. 11 matches recently recorded, in contrast to the 64 on Queen of Pain.
This game does not show that his Timbersaw is something that he's not familiar with at all. He was super comfortable with the hero. Played really well.
How important do you guys think the Nyx was? Because I feel like the Nyx was, every time the Bat tried to come in and do something, Nyx Assassin was right there on his case.
That is the matchup right there. Nyx makes it really hard for the Bat Rider to do his thing. Bat Rider has to reach the point where you get the BKB.
Yeah.
then you can deal with the next. That's why in the second phase ban, remember, they removed the Omni, because the Omni would allow the Bat Rider to get to that stage without the BKB, because you have the repel.
Yeah, it was a good ban.
And another big play from Spartan as he Lotus orbs the Lifestealer right as soon as he initiates.
And the Enigma's all sexy now. We were talking about this, Ben.
The Rubik Steel there as well. I mean, I think when you've got certain lineups against you, obviously being able to steal Golem is not that tricky. You know, it's like Rubik should be able to do that enough time.
It's so stressful as well, because if you're the Warlock this game, you have to wait. Even if you see a good rock, you have to hold on to the rock. You need to cancel the black hole. And he was like waiting and waiting. And finally the black hole comes, he drops his rock, and he has no time to react to the steal, and he gives away the rock. It was just a very difficult game for Saksa. Yeah, a lot of combination, stress and whatnot. And it was even more difficult for us to pick an MVP on Finem. Like, the whole team played really, really well.
It really was. And I mean, these celebrations, I do want to just take a quick dive into the player's perspective here, Winter, is a big victory. But as Ted did, hastily remind us, this is not it. This is not the semi-final victory. It is just one in the series. Is there a possibility for over-celebration, over-hype, or does anything like this, any of this kind of, I don't know how to describe it, any of this aura, this positive aura surrounding Finem, can it have adverse effects?
It's literally like Winter says, that's just them. Like, if they were going to say, oh, we did it, guys, and give up, they would have done it before now. They wouldn't be saying, oh, we'll celebrate once we get to the semi-final. They weren't expected to get this far. And they celebrated after every series, after every game, every play. You see them going nuts. So they're not going to give up and go, ah, we did it, guys. No, these guys are in it. They're in it to win it. That's it.
If anything, I think this empowers them, because they went out with the Morphling, which they say they didn't play that much, but, most carry players can't play Morphling, but the Enigma pick is really something that, okay, it is.
You need to know how to play.
And it's like same thing with the Bounty Hunter, picking it twice after getting crushed in game number 1. Like, all these bold moves from them, you can tell that they have a lot of confidence. They're not afraid to lose.
Yeah.
Yesterday, I actually walked on at the end of the show. I walked past their kind of team room, and I saw 4 of them sitting on the sofa, all looking at their hands like this. And they were all just kind of laughing at how much they were still shaking. It was wonderful to behold. Let's have a quick look at that scoreboard, though, because it will tell some of the more intricate details of this game. It was a score 29-11. And as you do look around it, is there anything that's particularly eye-catching here, Malini? Or is it just it tells a tale of that draft that you believe was the beginning of the end for DC?
The Enigma was just so farmed, and there was no real good way to deal with him from the draft. So they had to make sure that either they canceled the black holes or that Spartan wasn't able to pull off any black holes. And we said he was a big question mark, whether or not he would deliver. And he, like, way overperformed what I expected from the Enigma this game.
I mean, you can see what a bad game Moon and Misery both had. 1-8, 1-9, I mean.
I don't think their draft is, like, more difficult to execute, but the enemy just played a lot better than them.
And the credit does go to Thug. Highlighted him before in their head-to-head and finds himself in the MVP column as well.
Absolutely. Crowd behind that one as well. Yeah, he was superb.
Of course, mastermind behind that Timbersaw. Big work from him, and you can tell, without even looking, that Finem have made their way back onto stage. I can tell you that for absolutely nothing, as Boston has been completely converted. You take away their North Americans, they will find the Greeks, it seems. As Spartan in his interviews, and you can even see Madara hyping himself up for this next game. Right, talking of hype, there's no one that gets me more hyped than the one, the only Purge. We'll head over to him to break down that first game and what went oh so right.
Uh-oh. We can't hear you, Kev.
You should be able to hear
There
me.
we
All right. My bad. All right, Enigma is really the name of the game here. The Enigma pick was last moment. The cool thing about it is that it's very greedy, but there's a lot of different ways that it can be good and it can be bad. Number one way that it's greedy is that you're not going to be in lane very often. So because you're not going to be in lane very often, your opponents can exploit some of your other lane matchups, and you only have one support instead of 2. The other way that it's greedy is that it's very exploitable if your opponents actually follow it down. And we saw Finem do that against LGD the other day very effectively. So the way that DC reacted to this,